Hi guys, welcome to my study compass. In this video, I'll be walking you through the past paper, Math P2, Variant 3, May-June 2020. Let's get started. From this list of numbers, write down a multiple of 8. From the list, 32 is a multiple of 8. 8 times 4 gives us 32. Write down a square number. From the list, 36 is a square number. 6 squared gives us 36. Write down a prime number. 37 is a prime number. It only has two factors, 1 and itself. The diagram shows a cuboid. Calculate the volume of the cuboid. The volume of a cuboid is equal to its length times width times height. We've been given all the dimensions of the cuboid, and so the volume is 8 times 4 times 6.5 centimeters cubed, which is equal to 208 centimeters cubed. Triangle ABC is isosceles. Angle ABC is 32 degrees and AB equals AC. Find angle BAC. These angles in an isosceles triangle are equal. If one angle is 32 degrees, then the other should also be 32 degrees. This means angle BAC plus 2 times 32 degrees should be equal to 180 degrees. When we make angle BAC the subject, we get 116 degrees. A train journey takes 5 hours 54 minutes. The journey starts at 9:15. Find the time that the journey ends. All we need to do is add 5 hours 54 minutes to 9:15. When we add 15 and 54, we get 69 minutes. 60 minutes is 1 hour, so we add 1 hour to the hour column and leave the remaining 9 minutes in the minutes column. In the hour column, 1 plus 9 plus 5 is 15. This means the journey ends at 15:09. The average speed of the train for this journey is 80 kilometers per hour. Calculate the distance traveled. The distance traveled is equal to the speed of the train times the time duration for the journey. The speed is 80 kilometers per hour and the duration is 5 hours 54 minutes, which we can write as 554 over 60 hours. When we type this into the calculator, we get 472 kilometers. Sophia has a bag containing 8 blue beads and 7 red beads only. She takes 1 bead out of the bag at random and replaces it. She does this 90 times. Find the number of times she expects to take a red bead. The probability that she picks a red bead is equal to the number of red beads in the bag, which is 7, divided by the total number of beads, which is 15. The number of times she expects to take a red bead is equal to 90 times the probability of picking a red bead, which we have found as 7 over 15. This gives us 42. Simplify. P raised to the power 2 times P raised to the power 4. The two terms have the same base, and since they are multiplying, their powers add. So we have P raised to the power 2 plus 4. 2 plus 4 is 6, and so our final answer is P raised to the power 6. Simplify m raised to the power 15 divided by m raised to the power 5. The two terms have the same base m, and since they are dividing, their powers subtract. So we have m raised to the power 15 minus 5. 15 minus 5 is 10, and so our final answer is m raised to the power 10. Simplify k cubed raised to the power 5. The powers of k multiply, so we have k raised to the power 3 times 5. 3 times 5 is 15, and so our final answer is k raised to the power 15. Without using a calculator, work out 3 1 over 4 minus 2 2 over 3. You must show all your working and give your answer as a fraction in its simplest form. In the first step, we convert the mixed fractions into improper fractions. For 3 1 over 4, we have 4 times 3, which is 12, plus 1, which is 13, divided by 4. Then for 2 2 over 3, we have 3 times 2, which is 6, plus 2, which is 8, divided by 3. The LCM for the denominators 4 and 3 is 12. 4 goes into the LCM 3 times. 3 times the numerator 13 is 39. 3 goes into the LCM 4 times. 4 times the numerator 8 is 32. 39 minus 32 is 7. 7 over 12 cannot be simplified further, and so that will be our final answer. The bearing of x from y is 274 degrees. Calculate the bearing of y from x. We've been given the bearing of x from y as 274 degrees. When we subtract this angle from 360 degrees, we get this angle here as 86 degrees. We've indicated the bearing of y from x as alpha. Since these two angles are interior angles, which means they add up to 180 degrees, we have alpha plus 86 degrees equals 180 degrees. When we make alpha the subject, we get alpha equals 94 degrees. Calculate the area of the sector of a circle with radius 65 millimeters and sector angle 42 degrees. Give your answer in square centimeters. By applying the formula for area of a sector, we have 42 degrees divided by 360 degrees times pi times 65 millimeters squared. To convert 65 millimeters to centimeters, we multiply by 10 raised to the power -1. When we type this into the calculator, we have 15.5 centimeters squared, rounded to 3 significant figures. A solid cylinder has radius 3 cm and height 4.5 cm. Calculate the total surface area of the cylinder. Since we are dealing with a solid cylinder, the total surface area will be equal to the surface area of the cylinder's curved surface, which is 2 pi rh, plus the surface area of the two circles at the top and bottom, which will be 2 times pi r squared. When we substitute r equals 3 centimeters and h equals 4.5 centimeters into the equation, this is what we get. When we type this into the calculator, we get 141 centimeters squared, rounded to 3 significant figures. Y is directly proportional to the cube root of x plus 3. When x is 5, y is 2 over 3. Find y when x is 24. In mathematical terms, let's write y is directly proportional to the cube root of x plus 3. This can be rewritten as y equals k times cube root of x plus 3. Let's find the value of k. To get the value of k, we substitute the values of x and y given in the question into the equation. This gives us 2 over 3 equals k times cube root of 5 plus 3. When we make k the subject, we get k equals 1 over 3. Now for the equation, we have y equals 1 over 3 times cube root of x plus 3. When the value of x is 24, y will be 1 over 3 times cube root of 24 plus 3, which is equal to 1. The total perimeter of a semicircle is 19.02 centimeters. Calculate the radius of the semicircle. The perimeter of an object is the distance round the shape of the object. In the case of the semicircle, the total perimeter is equal to its diameter, which we have represented as A plus the arc, which we have represented as B. A is 2 times the radius and B is 2 pi r divided by 2, which is pi r. Since we want to find r, we need to make r the subject of the equation. R is common to 2r and pi r, and so when we factor it out, we are left with 2 plus pi. When we divide both sides of the equation by 2 plus pi, this is what we get. When we type this into the calculator, we get 3.70 correct to 3 significant figures. Write down the 3 inequalities that define the region R. First, we need to determine the equations of the 3 lines that bound the region R. We have y equals 1.5, x plus y equals 4, and y equals 2x plus 1. The region R is above y equals 1.5, and so we have the inequality as y is greater than and equal to 1.5. The region R is below y equals 2x plus 1, and so we define the inequality as y is less than and equal to 2x plus 1. The region R is below x plus y equals 4, and so we have x plus y is less than 4. We do not add the equal sign to the less than sign because unlike the other boundaries, this boundary is a broken line. The diagram shows the speed-time graph of a train journey between 2 stations. Find the acceleration of the train during the first 40 seconds. The acceleration is the slope of the graph from t equals 0 to t equals 40. So we have 12 minus 0 meters per second divided by 40 minus 0 seconds. This gives us 0.3 meters per second squared. Calculate the distance between the 2 stations. The distance between the 2 stations is the area under the graph, which is in the shape of a trapezium. The area of a trapezium is equal to half of the top length, which in this case is 210, plus the bottom length, which is 300, times the height, which is 12. When we type this into the calculator, we get 3060 meters. The table shows the amount of money, X dollars, given to a charity by each of 60 people. Calculate an estimate of the mean. The mean is equal to sigma f of x, which is the total sum of money, divided by sigma f, which is the total number of people who gave money to the charity. To be able to find sigma f of x, we first need to find the average amount for each given range. For the first interval, we have 0 plus 20 divided by 2, which is 10. Then we have 20 plus 25 divided by 2, which is 22.5. For the next interval, we have 25 plus 35 divided by 2, which is 30. Then we have 35 plus 50 divided by 2, which is 42.5. Then finally, 50 plus 100 divided by 2, which is 75. Now that we have the average values, sigma f of x is 10 times 21 plus 22.5 times 16 plus 30 times 6. Plus 42.5 times 10 plus 75 times 7, and sigma f is 60. When we type this into the calculator, we get 28.3. Paddy and Anna each invest $2,000 for 5 years. Paddy earns simple interest at a rate of 1.25% per year. Anna earns compound interest at a rate of R% per year. At the end of 5 years, Paddy's investment is worth the same as Anna's investment. Calculate the value of R. Paddy earns simple interest on her principal. This means the value of her investment at the end of 5 years is equal to her principal, which is $2,000, plus the total interest she earns, which is 5 times 1.25 over 100 times $2,000. This gives us $2,125. Anna earns compound interest on her principal, so we need to apply the compound interest formula to find the value of R. Big A represents the value of her investment at the end of 5 years, which is the same as Paddy's total investment value, $2,125. Small a represents the initial amount she invested, which is $2,000. And T is the time duration for the investment, and that is 5. From here, all we need to do is make R the subject of the equation to get the value of R. When we divide both sides of the equation by 2000, this is what we get. When we make R the subject, this is what we get. And when we type this resulting expression into the calculator, we get R equals 1.22 rounded to 3 significant figures. The diagram shows two shapes that are mathematically similar. The smaller shape has an area 52.5 centimeters squared, and the larger shape has area 134.4 centimeters squared. Calculate the value of M. For these two similar shapes, we can set up our equation as this. The area of the smaller shape, which is 52.5, divided by the area of the larger shape, which is 134.4, equals one of the side lengths of the smaller shape, which has been given as M, divided by its corresponding length in the larger shape, which has been given as 8 centimeters. Since we are dealing with area, we need to square the side length of the two shapes. From here, all we need to do is find M by making it the subject of the equation. When we multiply both sides of the equation by 8 squared, this is what we get. 52.5 divided by 134.4 times 8 squared gives us 25. When we take the square root of both sides, we get M equals square root of 25. Square root of 25 is 5. Write x squared minus 18x minus 27 in the form x plus k squared plus h. To be able to do this, we need to complete the square form x squared minus 18x minus 27. Another approach is to expand x plus k squared plus h and compare it with x squared minus 18x minus 27 to find the values of k and h. In this case, we will be using the completing the square approach. So first, we need to take the coefficient of the x term, which is negative 18, divide it by 2 and square it. Then we add and subtract it as shown to maintain the balance of the expression. Negative 18 divided by 2 is negative 9. The first section of the expression can be rewritten by taking x from the x squared term and taking negative 9 from the negative 9 squared and rewriting it as x minus 9 all squared. This section of the expression, which is minus negative 9 squared minus 27, gives us negative 108. And so our final answer here is x minus 9 squared minus 108. Use your answer to part A to solve the equation x squared minus 18x minus 27 equals 0. Based on our answer in part A, we can rewrite the equation as x minus 9 squared minus 108 equals 0. When we add 108 to both sides of the equation, this is what we get. When we make x the subject, we have 9 plus and minus square root of 108. For the first value of x, we have x equals 19.4, correct to 3 significant figures. And for the second value of x, we have x equals negative 1.39, correct to 3 significant figures. In a class of 40 students, 28 wear glasses, 13 have driving lessons, 4 do not wear glasses and do not have driving lessons. Complete the Venn diagram. The number of students outside sets G and D will be 4. If we subtract 4 from 40, then it means the total number of students in sets G and D must add up to 36. To get the number of students in sets G and D, we subtract 36 from the sum of 28 and 13. This gives us 5. If 28 students wear glasses, then 5 plus the number of students in this region must add up to 28. So 28 minus 5 gives us 23. If 13 students have driving lessons, then 5 plus the number in this region must be equal to 18. And so 13 minus 5 gives us 8. Use set notation to describe the region that contains a total of 32 students. 23 plus 5 plus 4 gives us 32, and the region containing these numbers can be described as G union D complement. This Venn diagram shows information about the number of students who play basketball, football, and hockey. Find N of B union F intersection H complement. In other words, we are finding the number of students in set B or F and not in set H. We've shaded this region on the Venn diagram, and the number of students is equal to 2 plus 7 plus 6, which is 15. Shade the region P union Q intersection R complement. In other words, we are shading the region inside set P in addition to the region outside of Q intersection R. The diagram shows a pyramid with a square base ABCD. The diagonals AC and BD intersect at M. The vertex V is vertically above M. AB is 11 centimeters and AV is 18.6 centimeters. Calculate the angle that AV makes with the base. On the diagram, we have indicated this angle and labeled it as alpha. We can find alpha by applying SOHCAHTOA. This gives us cos alpha equals AM divided by AV. We've already been given the length of AV as 18.6 centimeters. We need to find the length of AM. AM is half of AC. AC is the hypotenuse of the right-angled triangle ABC, and so we can find the length of AC using the Pythagoras theorem. This gives us AC squared equals AB squared plus BC squared. AB is 11 centimeters and BC is also 11 centimeters. When we substitute these values into the equation and make AC the subject, we get the length of AC as 11 root 2 centimeters. Therefore, the length of AM will be half of 11 root 2. Now that we have the length of AM, the value of alpha will be cos inverse of 11 root 2 divided by 2, all divided by 18.6. When we type this into the calculator, we get 65.3 degrees rounded to 1 decimal place. O is the origin and OPQR is a parallelogram. SOP is a straight line with SO equals OP. TRQ is a straight line with TR equals RQ. STV is a straight line and ST is to TV equals 2:1. OR is A and OP is B. Find in terms of A and B in its simplest form the position vector of T. The position vector of T is the same as vector OT. OT is equal to OR plus RT. OR is A and RT is minus B. And so our final answer is A minus B. Find RV. RV is equal to RT plus TV. RT is negative B, TV is half A, and so our final answer is minus B plus half A. Show that PT is parallel to RV. From the previous question, we found RV as negative B plus half A. PT is equal to PS plus ST. PS is negative 2B and ST is A. When we compare these two vectors, we see that PT is 2 times of RV. This means vectors PT and RV are parallel. Thank you for watching. I hope you found this video useful. See you in the next video. Bye guys.